Monte Carlo Rally 2009, the opening venue for the IRC, the Intercontinental Rally Championship, starts off with the world's most famous off-road event. It's the Monte Carlo Rally. It is the traditional season opener and still regarded as one of the greatest tests in all of motorsport. Well, day one of 3 sees the service parks in Valence, high up in the Alpes-Maritimes, and also at Monaco. 3 stages from Tourette, finishing on Col de Gossard and arriving in Valence this evening, having left the Principality on a cold, damp and dreary, I suppose you'd have to say, January morning. The rally heading up into the Alps in one of the snowiest years that anybody can remember. Well, hello and welcome everybody to coverage of the Monte and of the IRC for 2009. We're going to take a look back at what has happened so far. 2 stages so far run this morning. And although Monaco itself was bathed in sunshine, when the drivers left, they knew they were heading up into the mountains. Monaco, generally speaking, fairly pleasant. However, as the Monte Carlo Rally has a history of producing some tricky weather conditions, this year looked to be definitely among those. Tony Gardemeister's Abarth Grandi Punto was 3rd quickest on the opening stage. Juho Hänninen in the Skoda Fabia, one of the Skoda factory cars, was 2nd quickest, but it was defending champion Nicolas Voyoz in his Peugeot 207 who set the fastest time for the Peugeot Team Belux. He and teammate Freddie Loix again rallying in the 207 Super 2000s. 2nd stage, it was another Skoda in the top 3. Jan Capecci just ahead of Juha Hänninen. Hänninen was 4th quickest, so clearly the Skoda is looking good already. Giandomenico Basso finally got close to the front with his Abarth, but it was Le Mans ace turned rally driver turned Le Mans ace turned single-seater star Stephane Sarrazin, a late entry in the number 7 Peugeot Total entry, who set the fastest time. Sarrazin has got experience on the World Rally Championship and did a number of rallies last year, as well as competing for Peugeot at Le Mans. So the overall classification after the first 2 stages, with Voyoz and Sarrazin both winning for Peugeot. Juha Hänninen, however, is the leader of the event in his Skoda, 2nd quickest and 4th quickest on the 2 tests, ahead of Sarrazin and Voyoz. Sébastien Ogier in the BF Goodrich car, he's the reigning junior world rally champion, he lies in 4th position. Giandomenico Basso in 6th, and Great Britain's Chris Meek facing what he reckons is the biggest test of his career so far, a fine 8th on the opening day of the Monte. Oh, Jan Capecci, although he was 3rd on the 2nd stage, had a very slow getaway on the 1st stage, just 18th quickest, and so he's not in amongst the front runners. Well, as you can see, cloud hangs low over the mountains, up ready for the start of stage 3. And there has been a degree of discrepancy among the drivers as to who's going to take full snow tyres, intermediate snow tyres, and well, there are a couple who are gambling on a combination of the 2, and the tyre regulations pretty tightly restricted as to when and where drivers can change tyres, and the service areas likewise. Well, stage 3 from Saint-Jean-Ouian to Col de Gossard, 30.39 kilometres, and it's a real Monte classic. Well, you can see the rally leader here, Nicolas Voyoz, coming to the start area. Number 1, because he is the defending champion, of course. Hello, welcome back live to the start of stage 3 of Rally Monte Carlo 2009, the opener of the Intercontinental Rally Championship. You can see event leader and reigning champion Nicolas Voyoz just getting away from the start of this stage. And those of you who joined us for Rally du Valais at the end of last season will know the format here. We've got onboard cameras in all the top 10 drivers' cars, and we'll be using a combination of their onboards and the helicopter to run through the stage.
sans droiti, corde et gauchis. Droiti, corde et gauchis. Et léger droite à fond, Milan, bon, corde. Et léger droite à fond, Milan, bon, corde. Et gauchis. Gauchis et 120. 120, léger droite à fond, Milan, absolu. Et 100. 100, léger droite à fond, absolu. Léger droite à fond, absolu et 100. Léger gauche à fond, absolu. Léger gauche à fond, absolu et 150 à la borne. Gauchis et droiti, corde. Gauchis et droiti, corde. Et gauchis. Et gauchis et léger droite à fond, Milan, bon. Léger droite à fond, Milan, bon. Et léger gauche à fond, absolu. Et léger gauche à fond, absolu. Et droiti. Droiti et gauchis. Et droiti, corde au panneau. Droiti, corde au panneau. Et léger gauche à fond, long, bon. Léger gauche à fond, long, bon. 120. 120 gauchis. 120 gauchis et léger droite à fond, Milan, bon. Gauchis et léger droite à fond, Milan, bon. Dans droiti. 80. Et en droitier, 80, gauche à fond, long, bon. 80, gauche à fond, long, bon. 80. 80, gauchis et 100. Gauchis et 100. Léger droite à fond, Milan, absolu. 100, léger droite à fond, Milan, absolu et 100. Droite à fond, bon, corde. 100, droite à fond, bon, corde. Et léger gauche à fond, très long, absolu jusqu'au ciel. Très long, absolu jusqu'au ciel et 150. 150 au deuxième panneau, droiti pour 100, droite à fond à voir sur pont. Droiti pour 100, droite à fond à voir sur pont. Et referme à fond moins long. Et referme à fond moins long. 100, 100, gauche à fond, Milan, bon, large. Gauche à fond, Milan, bon, large. Et léger droite à fond, Milan, absolu au ciel. Et gauchis, 150. 150, droiti, corde. Droiti, corde et léger gauche à fond. 100. Léger gauche à fond et 100. Droite à fond, Milan, corde. Droite à fond, Milan, corde.
Well, as you can see at the moment, the road conditions are pretty dry. Tarmac is clear. Voyos making sure that that's not going to be the case for those following him, though, doing a lot of ditch hooking, cutting the corners on the very soft verges, throwing mud up onto the corners, and that's going to be a problem for some of the later runners. Voyos with co-driver Nicolas Klinger. You can hear him calling the notes in their native French. Now, the state of play regarding tyres is that a lot of drivers have gone for a snow tyre choice. Now, don't forget, we are only just a few kilometres into this 30k stage, so there is a long way to go, and they are climbing high up into the mountains. They'll get to over 1,100 metres at the highest point. Now, Voyos has gone apparently for studded snow tyres. Now, the real problem there, as we look back at Giandomenico Basso, the second starter, is that if he has got studs, Voyos, then he's not going to have any left by the time he gets to any snow high up in the mountains, because they'll be ripped out on the tarmac and he will be skating around with metal between his rubber and the road before he gets there, so he will lose a lot of time. And you can see the split time from Voyos on the top left of your screen as we ride with Giandomenico. Basso has gone for snow tyre.
4, 3, 2, 1, aja 120. Vasen helppo, lyhyt 150.
Now, what you're actually hearing, I'm thinking, is the Finnish co-driver Mikko Markkula, who's with Juho Hanninen. That is certainly not Italian, pace notes being called. So I think we're hearing Hanninen. And Giandomenico 3.8 seconds quicker than the rally leader up to this stage. Now, as you can see, it is raining, so although there's no snow and ice at the moment, and there won't be while it rains, it is pretty slippery. But the snow tyres will be pretty heavily grooved, of course, with big blocks and big grooves between them, little finger width rather than anything narrower between them, to clear the snow if and when they get to it. Now, Basso, Hanninen and Tony Gardemeister have all gone for a snow tyre. Anton Allen has gone for what is called a slice mixed 01, which I'm thinking probably in English means a cut slick. Well, there you can see Juho Hanninen in the Skoda. Of course, Skoda formerly in the World Rally Championship for a number of years, and Jan Capecci was part of the WRC team, and retired from the World Rally Championship a couple of seasons ago, but the Super 2000 cars far more cost effective, and still the Czech arm of the Volkswagen Group has really been the rally weapon of VAG. And IRC organisers delighted undoubtedly to have them in the championship alongside Peugeot and Abarth, which of course is the huge part of the Fiat empire. Fourth manufacturer involved is Mitsubishi with the Group N Lancer Evolutions. All these Super 2000 cars are also running in Group N, but of course not quite the same Group N. There you can see this little bit of snow now on the side of the verges. Giandomenico Basso, our leader at this first split point. But the third car on the road goes a fraction quicker. Does a touch more ditch hooking there as well.
Huomio 100 jarrukosteita, oikein nopea plus märkä. 5. Vasen eri pitkä, 120.
Well, major news so far this morning from the top entries is that we have lost Luca Rossetti, one of last year's championship front runners. He has already retired after special stage 1, the sortie de route sans gravité, which means not a major crash. And we have also lost 3-time Monte Carlo rally winner Didier Auriol. Auriol entering his own Super 2000 Peugeot 207, but had to give up with mechanical problems in stage 1. What a rotten start to the Monte for Didier Auriol. Now 50 years old, and of course double World Rally champion Didier. In the great days of the Group A Lancia Deltas, the Fast Frog was, his own nickname, was one of the rallying greats of the 80s and 90s. And still at 50 years old, he and long-time co-driver Denis Giraudet really looking to produce the goods here, maybe go for a 4th Monte win, but that is not happening. Meanwhile, on board with Freddie Loix. New co-driver for Fast Freddy this season, Isidore Smets. The helmet you can see bobbing around in the foreground on the right-hand side of your picture. And through the split, 1.3 behind our current leader. So by a 1/10 of a second, he's in 2nd place at that first split. Well, we also lost a couple of cars before scrutinising, or before the pre-rally inspections. Danny Sola was due to enter his own Abarth Grandi Punto. He withdrew that, and so did Frenchman Thomas Prive in a Mitsubishi Lancer. So they have gone by the board, but 2 major retirements from Luca Rossetti and Didier Auriol. It's a real disappointment. I was looking forward to seeing Didier recovering some of his previous greatness. Jan Capecci then. The number 6 Skoda. Luca Rossetti, the number 5. Abarth already fallen by the by. Capecci with Peter Starr alongside him. The 2 Czechs in the Skoda Fabia Super 2000.
Op 75. Linksflat 130 aan vooraan. 160. 120 rechtsop gepast. Op 50, links 120. Over 75. Aansveld links 45. Mis.
So Capecci fast approaching the split time. Juho Hananen is our current fastest man on the stage in the Skoda. So everything crossed for the Czech team, because at the moment going very nicely at the opening of the event. Hänninen in second, in the rally lead at the moment. 6 seconds back for Jan Capecchi. Capecchi now 27 years old and has really been a Skoda stalwart. Everybody hooking that particular ditch, aren't they? Throwing up mud everywhere. And Capecchi undertaking a partial campaign in last year's IRC. Got onto the podium on the Rally Vino Porto. And then concentrated on developing this brand new Fabia Super 2000. And it was one of the course cars on the Bærum Rally Zlin, which is also part of this year's championship, and on San Remo. So first full season in IRC for Jan Capecchi. Looking again at the Peugeot of Stephane Sarrazin. Sarrazin lying second on the event, 16.2 seconds behind Juho Hänninen before the start of the stage. That's Hanninen's time. So for him to take the lead, he has got to quite clearly get to that checkpoint at 2 minutes 00.4 or 5. That would give him the joint lead of the event to take those 16 seconds off Juho Hänninen. Sarrazin also on apparently snow-studded tyres, which does seem like a bit of a bizarre choice. Not quite sure why you would want studs at this stage. Well, Stephane Sarrazin, of course, started his career in single-seaters. Former kart racer, went through the Elf schools and up through to be pretty successful in Formula 3000. And when he was having a fairly lean single-seater year, trying to recreate his career as a sports car pilot, 2 or 3 years ago now, started getting into rallying and had some pretty impressive WRC event results. And so now he's really got a two-pronged career. Sarrazin still racing on tracks, racing at Le Mans for Peugeot last year and will be again this year. And so staying in the family with the rally project as well. He's a very adept peddler on the loose, and this challenge of the Monte Carlo rally for him, well, part rallying, part racing, of course, because it's basically a tarmac event rather than a gravel event. However, of course, the Monte famed for producing lots of snow and ice. Now, either Hänninen was very quick and Sarrazin is very slow, or Sarrazin has passed the split time and the clock hasn't stopped, or Sarrazin has got a puncture, possibly right rear. 3 minutes. Well, we're getting close to it, I think, now, where the split time is. Okay, and Sébastien Ogier we're watching now. Unfortunately, the live timing doesn't actually appear to be working at all. And so not exactly able to keep up with it. This is Sébastien Ogier. Now, he's in the BF Goodrich car. BF Goodrich entering one of these Peugeots on 5 events this year. And Ogier gets the nod this time. He is the reigning junior World Rally champion. He's the BF Goodrich drivers team competitor and was 5th quickest on the opening test. And the driver who should get the gig, incidentally, in the BF Goodrich car is voted in by a panel of experts, and so as junior World Rally champion, Sébastien Ogier was seen as a man who would be a very good call. Of course, it doesn't hurt that he's French. Ideal event on which to place a top young Frenchman would be the Monte Carlo rally. And on board with Ogier
gauche 130 mi-long tard, 120 mètres. Droite 140, 80 mètres. Frein gauche 130 moins. Sur dessus gros frein 50 mètres, épingle de gauche 50 humide. 70 mètres. Droite 120 au panneau, sur gauche 132 plus. Et attention, frein déleste 40 mètres, droite 110 moins mi-long des verts.
As we listen to Sebastian Ogier, here is the view from the cockpit of Tony Gardemeister. Tomi Tominen on the notes alongside him. Gardemeister, another ex-World Rally Championship competitor. And the Finn, his Grande Punto run by Astra Racing, well-respected Italian operation with a good background in tarmac rallying. I'm hoping to see Gardemeister producing some good results through the season. Third quickest on the opening stage, Tony Gardemeister, now lying in 5th place, 28 seconds behind the leader. So just 3 seconds behind Sebastian Ogier. And a couple more behind Nicolas Voyos, nearly 10 seconds behind Nicolas Voyos. But Juho Hänninen, the event leader, his compatriot, is setting some blinding times so far. Gardemeister again, we believe, with snow tyres on, same as Hänninen and Giandomenico Basso. Those that we're being told have gone for studded tyres: Jan Capecci, Nicolas Voyos, Stephane Sarrazin, Freddie Loix, Sebastian Ogier, and one we've yet to see, Chris Meek. And Anton Allen going for a cut slick. And that's the sort of tyre choice of which his go-get-em father would probably have approved. We'll have to wait and see exactly how they fare higher up on the stage. Helicopter here down quite close still to the start, within the first 5 or 6 kilometres. Rally Monte Carlo, the opener of the season, trying to get just a little bit more balance between the tarmac and the gravel events this season. Second rally of the championship is the International Rally of Curitiba in Brazil. That, incidentally, is the same weekend as the World Touring Cars are in Brazil at Curitiba. That is the first weekend of March. First weekend of April, still waiting for confirmation of the East African Safari Rally in Kenya as round 3 of the championship. And obviously the situation in Kenya being monitored closely, starting to get now up into areas of lying snow, at least not on the warmer road surface. And some classic Monty territory here, and some classic Hardy Monty fans as well. All on one side, the Marshal on the other. You'd think you'd cross the road and go over and get a little eau de vie, or they must have something. Rally fans rarely go anywhere without something to keep them warm. So the Açores Rally of Portugal will be round 4 of the championship, first weekend of May. Then Ypres on the 18th and 20th of June, and that will be the second only tarmac rally of the event. Nicolas Voyos in snow, incidentally, now as we see him through the end of the stage. So Voyos are going to do this the old-fashioned way, 19:16.6. So Nicolas Voyos, Nicolas Klinger finishing the stage. And fans waving there as well. I wonder if there was somebody very close behind him. Well, let's catch up with our reporter Alessandro Dragazze, see what Nicolas has got to say for himself at the end of the third stage of the Monte.
Nicolas, you took stud tires for this special stage. Was it a good choice?
Yeah, I think, but we get a puncture on the right just before to start on the last uphill. So we lose many time in the snow and understeering a lot.
Thank you.
So sounding like a front puncture then. You generally don't understeer with a rear puncture. It's normally exactly the opposite. Understeer being where you turn the wheel and the car just keeps going straight whether you want it to or not. And oversteer being where you turn the wheel and the back end wants to overtake the front end. And that's normally what happens when you get a rear end puncture. So, well, it's not looking very snowy at the finish, and we haven't seen very much snow here either. So not quite sure where he has found all this snow. But if he says that he's quite happy with the choice of tyre, then he is the boy. So he should be the one who is happy with that. Tony Gardemeister, is that who we are looking at here? Could well be. I'll tell you what, if you've got a 36-inch colour screen, you tell me whether that says 2 for Giandomenico Basso or 10 for Tony Gardemeister. Now then, well, again, coming into the finish, not quite as high as the highest points. The Tunnel de Pionnier, which is the 1100 meters top altitude, is about halfway through before they head down through Lonte and Les Outarets, down to the final climb, Col de l'Échasson, and the finish area. This is a fairly narrow and seldom used public road. So Giandomenico Basso coming in car number 2, plus 21.6 seconds. And Giandomenico, let's remember, was also on plain snow tyres.
Giandomenico, senti, i pneumatici neve era la giusta scelta per questa speciale?
Ma vedendo la prova, si è messo a nevicare già parecchi chilometri prima, probabilmente la scelta giusta erano i chiodi, ecco, perché sono veramente difficili queste macchine, almeno per me, in questo fondo, quando non hai la gomma giusta, ecco.
Grazie Giandomenico. Yes, I regret a bit my choice of snow tires because it started snowing during the special stage, and so the best choice was probably to have stud tires.
Well, as we look from the camera here, we can see that it is pretty snowy down there. Third car through, Juho Hänninen, now through the flying finish. He is our event leader, and Hänninen was also, like Basso, on plain snow tyres, but comes in still 15 seconds quicker than Voyos. My goodness, he's really flying. Let's see how Alessandro's finish is doing. Tappity tap tap tap.
Juho, so first rally for Scott, it seems things are going quite well for you.
Yeah, it has been much better than I expected start for the rally, and big thanks for the team and big thanks for the gravel crew. They had made absolutely fantastic job with the notes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Well, he looks like a happy bunny, doesn't he? And so he should. He's taken another 15 seconds out of Nicolas Voyos, and so that will increase his lead. But as you can see, snowing on the stage, and it is pretty snowy there. So I have to say, Anton Allen might have to make up an awful lot of ground early in the stage to make up for what he's going to lose here, because a cut slick is not the call. Looking this time at Tony Gardemeister, I wouldn't think so. He's still probably quite a long way to go. Next to finish should be Freddie Loix. He's getting into slightly white out conditions there. Gardemeister still just about halfway through the stage, according to the clock, and if that is him, then this is where the studded tyres are going to work well. This is Freddie Loix, however, closing on the finish. And he too, that's the warning of the flying finish board, and the flying finish just round the corner there. So Loix also on studs, we believe. And takes the lead, 19 minutes, 1.5 seconds. So far, not takes the lead, but fastest on the stage. So 1 second quicker than Juho Hänninen, but he needs to be a lot quicker than that past Freddie down in 7th place. 54.7 seconds behind the leader, so the loss of one won't worry Hänninen at all. Time card being handed in by the co-driver, and it will be stamped with the time that was set when he triggered the finish clock further back.
Freddie, it started snowing during the stage. How was the grip?
Not fantastic. Luckily we took some studs on the tires, so it was helping a lot. But it's so tricky because there is snow where we never had snow before, but it was fantastic.
You said the best time, so I think you are very happy with your tire choice.
I don't know I did the best time, but I had a good feeling anyway, so that was good.
Yeah. Yes, you are best time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always good, isn't it, to hear drivers when they come out of a stage like this going, oh, fantastic, which is exactly the spirit that you really want to hear from them as well. So Tony Gardemeister's clock still running. Gardemeister start number 10 and still some way from the finish of the stage. As you can see, climbing his way up through this forestry and through many hairpin corners. Now, next driver on the start list, Luca Rossetti, is retired, so the next car we are expecting is the second Skoda of Jan Capecci, and Capecci going a different way from teammate Hänninen. We believe he had studded tyres, so with the same kit but with studs, is Capecci going to fare better now? He's got the hazards on, whether by design or accident, I'm not sure. Well, he's not going quite as quick as Loix. He's obviously punched the hazard warning button for some reason, not visible at the moment. So he loses 16 further seconds to Freddie Loix and about 15 to his teammate. It's a nice, purposeful looking car. Now the helicopter is being told to, or is going to have to go back down the mountain. The clouds are too low on the stage for the helicopter to progress any further up it. You see the time card being handed back into the co-driver. It's like a golfer's card. You have to have it with you. It doesn't actually record your official time.
It was quite a tricky stage. How was for you?
For me, this day is really not good because I lost the power steering on the stage number 1 shortly after the start, something 700 meters after the start, so I'm fighting with the car all day with no power steering, so I'm happy that we are in the finish and we can continue tomorrow.
Did you try something to work on the car to repair yourself the power steering? What did you do?
We changed the different hoses and we tried to connect the pump to by different ways, but nothing helped, you know. Still from the start of the stage number 1 we are out of power steering, so okay, that's a pity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, pity indeed, and it's really starting to throw it down here now at the finish as we watch Stephane Sarrazin. Very heavy snow and fastest on the stage. First man below 19 minutes. Well, he looked like he was having fun earlier on, so it would appear. So Sarrazin, car number 7. Luca Rossetti already fallen by the wayside, the Abarth driver, and we lost one top Peugeot with Didier Auriol retiring on stage 1 as well with a mechanical problem.
Stephane, so best time in this special stage for you. I think you're quite satisfied. Was everything good?
Yeah, the second stage was amazing. We pushed very well. The car was perfect and we did the first time, and in this one it was really difficult in the snow, you know, snow and very fast part, so I tried to be very smooth and very fast, but I don't know if it's enough. We'll see.
Yes, it's the best time so far in this stage for you.
So it's very good, very good, very good first day.
Well done.
Thank you.
So he has taken 4.2 seconds out of the leader, which is 4.3 out of Juho Hänninen, the overall leader. So he's now not 16.2. He is 11.9 seconds behind at the end of the first day. Good stuff for him. Now then, it's pretty white out conditions, isn't it, as we ride on board. Look at Tony Gardemeister's hands and follow him on the road. See if you can figure out which way the road is going and how much understeer he's getting. First gear. Oh, is the gear selector indicator light doesn't appear to... Oh, yes, it is. Second, third. Does appear to be working. Although he did seem to be pulling the gear lever there and not much was happening. Stephane Sarrazin fastest on the stage. Sébastien Ogier in the BF Goodrich car should be next through. And you can see Gardemeister also using the handbrake quite a lot. That top lever that he's pushing forwards and backwards. Whoa, plough on understeer there. Oh, in fact, that is Ogier. So, again, being misled. I'm sure that was Ogier we were just watching as well. Really ploughing on with a dreadful understeer there, despite studs. Studs really most useful for ice-covered surfaces. But it's dumping now properly, and it's like this most days in the Alps at the moment. At least at some stage. So a bit slippery underfoot as it comes into the flying finish area. So what happens is the car goes through the timing beam, stops the clocks, then the co-driver hands the time card into the officials. They write down the time that they've got on their clocks, and they're sheltering under his umbrella is our reporter Alessandro. See if we can get a quick word with our reigning junior World Rally champion. Easy for you to say. So, Sébastien Ogier.
Sébastien, you got a puncture. What happened where?
I hurt a little rock. I haven't in the knot and... yeah, okay.
Where was it?
I think it was at after maybe 10 kilometers. Yeah.
So how much time did you lose for that?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15, I don't know.
Thank you.
And that will probably go some way to telling us why he had such chronic understeer there. Would probably be a right front puncture. These cars, of course, not front-wheel drive. They're all four-wheel drive. And fighting his way through. This is Tony Gardemeister in the Abarth, and Gardemeister with snow tyres, no studs, at a very pedestrian pace now here in the heavy falling snow. Fastest time of Stephane Sarrazin being shown on top left of the graphic, and Gardemeister is going to lose half a minute more here. You see not too many tyre tracks still visible here. So for most of the stage he was looking good, with a little bit more grip in the wet conditions but without thick snow. And then when the snow arrived, obviously losing a lot of time. And this is on snow tyres as well. Can't imagine what sort of time Anton Allen is going to lose if he is genuinely on cut slicks. It was a gamble that went badly wrong. Gardemeister in the Grandi Punto. Gardemeister is the best placed of the Abarth machines as well. Abarth, of course, a former tuning company, right front puncture, Gardemeister. Abarth, a former independent tuning company, Carlo Abarth, set it up and was a specialist in tuning Fiat and Lancia cars. And like Alpine, has been taken over by Renault, so the Abarth brand was bought up by Fiat, and is now the name of the Fiat Grandi Punto rally car, essentially, the Abarth Grandi Punto. And there is first shot of Britain's Chris Meek, entered by Peugeot UK, former double British junior rally champion. And Chris Meek chasing the leaders hard at this stage, 8th place and 1 minute and 6 seconds behind. Now he was on studs as well. Let's hear from Gardemeister. And Meek fastest on the stage.
At the front right, what happened where?
We went a little bit off, but somehow, I don't know, we don't have any chance here. We are losing like a hell.
Maybe it was the wrong choice of tires?
Tires was about same than others, but you know, actually in start it felt really, really good, but still we are a lot of behind.
Thank you very much.
So Tony Gardemeister there, and Chris Meek. You see how much time Gardemeister lost. They start 2 minutes apart. They were barely 30 seconds apart in the end. Chris Meek is now the fastest man on the stage, so his first ever IRC stage win, first stage win on the Monte. So congratulations to Chris.
Chris, best time in this last special stage of the rally for you?
It's quite strange actually, for it's my first time ever driving on snow, so it was absolutely incredibly lucky with the tire choice, because we decided to go stud. We had some information that there was just some small ice, but on the way to the stage the snow started to fall, but it's completely full snow in there now for the last 10 or 12 Ks, and very beautiful to drive, but you have to be careful because under the snow there's some hard packed ice and it can catch you out, but awesome, I love it.
Congratulations, thank you very much.
There you go, fantastic. Why wouldn't he love it? Great conditions to be rallying in for a driver. It's like being a Formula One driver in the rain. They always relish driving the car in the rain. Racing it's different. Driving it, that's a thrill, just being able to really move the car around. And for Chris, as he said, first ever snow stage in a rally. So fantastic. And here, Anton Allen. Now, we did believe that he was on cut slicks, and you wouldn't want those around here. Mind you, slightly better than not having a puncture. 21.55. Goodness me, that is a big slice of time lost. Leader came through here in 18.56. 3 minutes lost to Chris Meek. That's the difference between studs and between studs and cut slicks. And Anton even spinning there after the flying finish. Let's see if we can have a quick word with Anton Allen. Not what he was hoping for out of this stage, that's for certain.
Yeah. Anton, you probably took the wrong kind of tires for this special stage. Why did you do this choice?
I got the info that the first 30 kilometers are just full flat, like tarmac, and then the last 2 kilometers are snow, so that's why I did.
Thank you.
Well, do you know what? At the time, that was probably right, and that's one of the dangers with the Monte Carlo rally, is even in the days of proper gravel crews, they can go through the stage, there's no sign of snow falling, and they'll say, okay, there's 2 or 3 kilometers of snow, that's all, go with the slick, and then the weather changes, the heavens open, and whoomph, it's whiteout conditions. Olivier Bourri here. Bourri, as you can see, another Grandi Punto Abarth for the Swiss. Don't have a time for him, unfortunately.
Olivier, alors, Olivier Bourri, des conditions d'adhérence très difficiles sur cette dernière spéciale de la journée.
Ouais, très difficile. Là, on a des pneus neige, mais bon, c'est pas des pneus neige. Il faut que les spectateurs comprennent que c'est une espèce de pneu pluie avec quelques clous dedans et on peut pas faire les cons. Dès qu'on est à 2 km/h trop vite, on sort de la trajectoire et puis on n'arrive plus à récupérer la voiture.
Merci beaucoup.
Well, he was saying he had snow tyres, but the spectators can probably tell you that snow tyres aren't quite good enough, and he said they went off a few kilometres from the end and then had to slow down pour récupérer le véhicule, to allow the car to recover. So it looks like he had a narrow miss. Julien Morin, not sure what tyres he's got on in the Astra Racing entry, but by golly, he was firing it through there towards the end. And as you can see, the snow pretty much stopping now. So on a half-an-hour window, if they'd started half an hour earlier, Anton Allen would very probably have comfortably won the stage. As it was, his gamble went completely the wrong way. Tony Cavallina. He's Italian, so Alessandro can try in Italian with him. In fact,
yeah,
right
so
in front of him.
Stud tires, but anyway, I think it was, even with these tires, it was difficult in these last kilometers.
See, it's very difficult for me because our setup is too hard, so it's very difficult to ride the car.
Thank you.
So gone with a much more tarmac setting. Snowy conditions, you require the car to be a bit more progressive, and that's springs, roll bars, dampers. It's also things like how they set up the differentials, if they can make adjustments to those to make the car a bit more progressive, less snatch, things that people have been doing since time immemorial with slip diffs. Now electronic control of differentials been banned from on board, but differentials can be programmed, can be set up for the day. Andrej Jerob of Slovenia coming through, 11th fastest for him in his Peugeot. And there you can see the first of the Mitsubishi Evos. The front runners are the Italian Alessandro Fro, Patrick Artrou and Thomas Prieve was due to be part of that gallant band of Mitsubishi drivers, but he withdrew before the start. So Richard Frau, 10th place in the Lancer, and that's the Evo 9. No, it's not. That's new shape Evo 10, isn't it, I think. So let's see if we can have a quick word with him.
Richard, so it was snowing a few minutes ago, now it stopped. How is the grip now?
No, it is not grip, because very ice, and we have good ridge. It is very fantastic.
You set the 10th best time in this special stage. Are you satisfied with that?
Yes, for tomorrow on, we have in a good position.
Thank you.
So the cars will be reseeded after the first day, and the running order, if you can get it to run, we'll have Juho Hänninen being the first man on the road in the Skoda. He is our event leader. Fastest on the stage, Chris Meek with Paul Nagel alongside in a Peugeot UK 207. Stephane Sarrazin second quickest. Freddie Loix third fastest on the stage, ahead of Juho Hänninen by just a tenth of a second. Juho Hänninen is still the overall leader, but fantastic first Monte stage win for Chris Meek, and huge congratulations. What a good effort as well on his first Monte Carlo rally, and on a very snowy stage as well, beating Stephane Sarrazin. And the two of them comfortably ahead of far more experienced drivers. So looking down the 10, Jan Capecchi, Sebastian Ogier, the Junior World Rally Champion, Giandomenico Basso is the top Abarth, and he was struggling for grip ahead of Tony Gardemeister and Richard Frau. And then Julien Morin, Andrej Jerob, and as you can see, Anton Alain only 15th at the moment of the 15 cars that have finished, and 2 minutes and 59 seconds slower than the leader. So he is going to drop a long way down the order, already 11th and counting, as he drops down the overall standings. So Juho Hänninen leading by now just under 12 seconds instead of the 16 and a bit he came into the stage with, from Stephane Sarrazin. Nicolas Voyos in third, ahead of Sebastian Ogier fourth. Gardemeister slips from fifth as Freddie Loix jumps up from seventh, and Chris Meek from eighth to be fifth and sixth, ahead of Giandomenico Basso. Gardemeister down to eighth place, fifth as he came into the stage. Jan Capecchi in ninth position. That's a big step up from him, but still a couple of other cars to come. And Anton Alain was 10th and will probably drop down a few more paces than that. So join us tonight just before 11 p.m. GMT, midnight CET, for highlights of the first stage. Then tomorrow, well, we're going to be bringing you 2 stage runs. One at 9:30 in the morning, the other at 2:45. Those are both GMT times. The times you're seeing on the screen are local times, Central European time. So we'll be bringing you stage 5 and stage 8 live. And then the third day of the event, we'll be bringing you 3 live stages on Eurosport and British Eurosport, including the night runs through the Col de Torini, the world's most famous rally stage, perhaps bar none. So that's it from day 1 of the Monte Carlo Rally Live. Join us this evening just before 11 GMT, midnight CET, for the highlights. Till then, from the Rally Monte Carlo, from me, Martin Haven, it's goodbye from now. Bye-bye.